Welcome to tip 3. We're going to start with front push kicks. This is the straight push kick. There's two variations. In both instances, you'll make contact with the ball of the foot. The planted leg, you want to lock the knees straight. In one variation, you're flat-footed, and that's when you're not moving. In the other variation, your heel is up in the air, you're on the ball of the foot, and that's when you're moving. It's more of an offensive move. That's a planted one there, and that's a moved one. Make sure the leg that you're kicking with is loose. Now this kick can be performed with either the front leg, the lead leg, or the rear leg. I'm demonstrating it here on the belly protector. When you work out with a partner, you can also do it lightly without the belly protector. Get my hip into it. This is another type of straight kick, the tip toes kick. Be careful not to hurt your toes on the belly protector. This is used straight into the stomach. It's good for the solar plexus. Can knock the wind out of somebody. It's similar to a finger jab. Toes go straight in. The planted leg does the same thing as in the other push kick. See how the toes go straight in? Not the ball of the foot. Straight up and in. You can drop the hand on the side while you kick, or sometimes you keep both hands up to protect. This is a side push kick. It's different from other martial arts styles. We don't turn the foot 90 degrees, only 45 degrees, both the planted foot and the striking foot. Both are at 45 degrees when impact occurs. Now it's alright to drop your arm while you kick to keep your balance, because by extending your leg, your opponent can't attack from that side. But keep the other arm up to make sure he doesn't kick you in the head from that side or punch you. Study these tapes carefully, watch them a few times to see all of the things I'm talking about. This is a slap push. It's good to irritate your opponent. It's like slapping him in the face, like that. It's good to set up other kicks. Now I'm with the left lead here, but shortly you'll see me switch. You're going to be able to switch your leads, and that's something that you'll acquire later on. But you don't want to have to always bring your leg back to where it started. You're going to be able to switch your leads. Here's the heel push. Very strong kick because you're making contact with the heel. You can see that my student here is fairly large and I'm still able to move him with my heel kick. You have to be quite flexible, especially in the hamstring, to be able to utilize this kick. It's a very strong kick. Make sure you keep the kicking leg loose. Don't be tight. Make sure the knee's loose. Remember, before doing any of these kicks, you want to do the stretches from tape 1. Now here's a combination of all the kicks I've just shown you. Just like the punches, you've got to really work on each of the individual kicks prior to trying to use them in combinations. Now notice how I don't run before I do any of the kicks. It comes right from where I'm standing. I might switch my lead, but that's it. And if you miss, don't lose your balance. That's an easy time to do so. Anticipate that you might not make contact. Keep your balance at all times. In the Muay Thai round kick, you've got to turn your body. You've got to pivot on the balls of your feet. That's where your power and speed is going to come from. Pivot and twist. Pivot and twist. That's how you launch your leg up, and that's how you're going to turn your body. Get your momentum going. Overcome the inertia. pivot and twist. Now, there's many different types of round kicks, but they all have this in common. Let's watch the students. Now, I'm going to correct Nick. I want him to twist a little more in that front foot. Turn the hips more also. There's other types of round kicks we'll get to later, but they all start with this basic element. Pivot and twist. You've really got to get this down before you can go any farther. Got to twist your body into the kick. All the power comes from the body. Turn the hip. Now we're going to break the kick down a little bit. I'm going to show you just the first part of it. We're not going to go all the way through. Just going to come around part way. Going to get up on the ball of the foot and turn. Just halfway. Once you get the pivot and twist down so you can launch yourself, this is the next step. Get the leg up and come around. Don't try to extend the knee, just bring the hip around. Just like this. Step in and launch it. Get on the ball of this foot and pivot. Pivot. Bring that leg around. Let's watch the students once again. Turn. Turn. Now, if you watch carefully, you'll see that Walter, he has his leg locked, his knee locked straighter than Nick's, and that's what you want to do. It takes some time to develop this, but that's the proper technique. Nick is bending his planted leg more than I'd like. It's like doing it in slow motion. Then later you want to add the power, add the speed, and your momentum will carry you around. Now we're going to move on to kicking with the other leg. If you're right-handed, it's harder to develop your left leg kick. And you do this after you switch leads. Everything's the same though, it's reversed. But you've got to work on both from the very beginning if you want to be able to develop both kicks. Keep the planted leg straight, lock that knee out as you come up. Turn the hips and shoulders. Watch the students. I think you'll notice that neither of them are as strong with their left kick as they are with their right. And this is a natural occurrence. But with either leg, when you launch that back leg, you want to bring the shin bone up at a 45-degree angle. Not straight up, but at 45 degrees. And then you're going to turn it over at the hip. Power comes from the back leg, no matter which leg's in the back. Launch yourself up. Got to turn that hip over. Be on that toe of that planted foot. Remember, your power comes from your hips, your body. And when you make contact, it's with the shin bone, right at the edge of it, like a knife blade. That's what you want to kick with. That's what's going to do the most damage. Now at first, it doesn't feel good to kick with the bone. You've got to condition the shin bone, and we do that by kicking the bag. In Muay Thai, we divide the body into 3 target areas. There are 3 areas you aim your kicks. From below the waist to the legs, then from the waist up to below the neck, and then from the neck up to the head. These are the 3 zones that we divide the body into. Now for each of these zones, the legs, the body, and from the neck up, there are different kicks that we use. For the legs, you can kick inside the leg, outside the leg. We also kick both legs, or the cross leg kick. And we kick to the body. There's different targets on the body that we also kick to. Sometimes to the ribs, higher or lower, and then of course above the shoulders to the neck and head. Now there's a misconception about Muay Thai that many people have, and that is that there's only one or two kicks. But in actuality there are many, many more. They're just slight variations of the basic kick. And you've got to learn that first before you can learn the variations. I'm now going to start to show you just some of the variations that are possible from the basic kick. First we'll do the outside kick. This is outside to the leg. This is your target area right here, the muscle along the outside. You're going to step in, whip your leg, and turn your hip over. Do it again. When using this kick, you want to stay low, so bend the planted leg's knee a little. This will also help you to turn and will keep you farther away from your opponent. Think of it as sitting down a little and then turning over. See how I twist my foot? My body will follow. Twist and everything follows. Same on the other side. Got to bend that knee and twist in. Allows you to sit down. Same on this side. Twist and turn. It's like a soccer style kick in some respects. Alright, now I'm going to show you this kick, this same kick, with a partner. Kicking to the outside of the leg, your target is from below the hip to above the ankle. Now when working out with a partner like this, you're never going to do it full power. This is to practice the mechanics of the kick and to get the movements down. Then later, you're going to work with the pads and try to get the power going and the speed going. But this drill is just to work on the mechanics and to work on judging the distance between you and an opponent. How close he is, how close you want to be. Remember, don't kick your partner hard. Now let's watch Walter. We'll take turns kicking each other. Step in, turn and kick. You can see that when I step in, I'm twisting, bending my knee slightly and turning my hip in. Watch again. Now I'm using the ankle. This allows me to stay farther away. You want to do this against an opponent who has a long reach. Now I catch Walter's leg and I check to make sure he's in proper position. Again, I want to make sure everything's where it should be. He's pivoting his foot, he's turning the hip over. The next kick I want to show you is the inside kick. Like the outside kick, the target is from the ankle up to the thigh, on either leg, including the knee. Now you'll cause the most damage if you kick the knee. If you kick it hard enough, you can cause the joint to separate. So if you really want to cause some damage, kick the knee joint. When using the inside kick, you'll usually kick your opponent's front leg because that's the leg that's closest to you. Let's start with the footwork first. You're going to slide your back leg up to just behind the front leg, then step over and twist both. Pivot on both feet. Again, slide the leg up, step over, pivot and twist. You're putting yourself in position so that you can kick your opponent's inside leg with your front leg, your lead leg. Now just like the outside kick, we're going to pivot on our planted foot and bend the knee. Pivot and bend the knee. That allows you to turn your hip over. Now what this kick allows you to do is to stay out of your opponent's reach. You're moving out and away from him and coming in from a different angle. Let's see how it works. Let's apply it here to Walter. Again, your target area is from the ankle to the thigh. When you're working with a partner, you don't want to kick him in the knee. This is just to practice it once again. Watch out for the right hand. That's why we move out. Watch how I do it to Walter. See, if I come right in, straight in, I'm very vulnerable to being countered. Instead, I move out in a way, I lean my body out also at the same time. Watch how the footwork works in action. Now, when Walter does it, I catch him and check him. I want him to turn his knee more. That's it. See how he leans out also? It's very hard for me to punch him when he leans out like that. The footwork involved in this technique is more complicated than some of the other kicks. Even an experienced student like Walter will sometimes have trouble doing it. It takes some time to learn. Watch closely. The next variation on the round kick that I'd like to show you is the cross kick. Once again, your target is the leg, from above the ankle to below the waist. This kick is different though. Your leg is going to go up and down. Bring it up like a regular kick, but then turn your hip over and strike down before you make impact. Bring it up at a 45 degree, then turn the hip over and bring the leg down. This can confuse your opponent. He may think you're trying to kick him in the body. You're going to use the instep, come down. Watch. I step in, bring the hips forward and over. A lot of power in this kick. I whip my leg around. Now from the other side, same thing. Like the other round kicks, I'm pivoting on the ball of my foot, and I want to bend my planted leg's knee slightly. I bring the kicking leg up at a 45 degree, and then I turn it over. It's a little clearer, I think, if I slow it down. Watch again. That's what you should do also. Slow it down and then speed it up. Try to get the motions down first, and then gradually add speed and power. And if you kick someone in the thigh with this kick, it'll hurt. Now watch while I work with Walter. See how I come down on his thigh? Now, like the other variations of the round kicks, you want to do it softly with a partner. Although with this particular kick, it can still hurt quite a bit. Once again, I hold Walter and check him. I want him to turn it over more. Now, Walter's using the shin here. He's coming down and turning it over. If you want to keep more distance, you can use the instep or the ankle. Turn that hip over and drive the knee through. Up at a steep angle and turn it over. The next variation on the round kick that I'd like to show you is the both leg kick. The target here is the thighs of both legs. It's like the cross kick, only you're going to kick both thighs of your opponent simultaneously. If you do it properly, you can knock him down by kicking both legs out from underneath him. Both legs at the same time, and he'll fall right into you. Now, if your opponent has a right lead, you're going to want to kick with your left leg. Like that. And if he has a left lead, you're going to want to reverse it, to kick both legs at the same time. step in deep and twist. Once again, it'll be clearer for you when I show you how to do it with a partner. Now this can be thought as a cross kick with a different target also. Watch. I'm going to kick him in both legs. Now Walter has a left lead, so I want to kick him with my left leg. Just like that. Bang. It's very similar to the cross kick. Watch it from this angle. Walter steps in and kicks both my legs. He keeps his body out and leans out also, and I could fall right into him if he kicks me hard enough. Bang. I'm going to catch his leg again, make sure everything's in the right spot. Now you want to step out at a 45-degree angle before you kick. Step out like this. Again, out at a 45-degree angle, approximately. Move your body out. Don't come in, you'll get punched by either hand. Once again, step out and kick. Now all of these kicks to the leg have a similar purpose. If you kick your opponent often enough in the leg, they'll get sore and he won't be able to move, at which point you will have a great advantage. We're now ready to move on to the step-in kick. As I said before, in Muay Thai, we divide the target area into the leg area, above the legs to the shoulders, and then above the neck. The step-in kick is the first kick that we're going to use that goes above the legs. You strike between the hips and the shoulders generally. Now, as the name implies, we're going to step in with this kick. You want to aim for the ribs. If your opponent starts to block with his arms, you'll kick his arm a lot, and his arm will get tired, and he won't be able to punch. So it's just as effective if you kick the arm as it is the ribs. Now, when we step in, we're going to bridge the distance between ourselves and our opponent. It's a good way to get close and then attack. When you step in, make sure you keep your hands up and don't drop your guard. Step in, transferring the power off the back of the foot. Once again, we're going to bend our knee a little and come forward. Let your momentum carry you forward. And then kick. When you come in, bring your shoulders in. Bring your upper torso in. Lean in. That'll help your momentum bring your body in. Don't lean back and kick like that. You'll lose your balance and lose your power. Step in and kick. Always keep your guard hand up, the opposite side that you kick. You don't want to get kicked or punched while you're kicking. Your opponent's going to try to counter. Always keep it up. Same thing on the other side. Just like this. If you're going to kick on the other side, keep the other hand up. Left kick, right hand stays up. Again, transfer your power from the back leg. Open the ankle up, get on the ball of the foot, then kick. Pivot on that foot. Watch my planted foot. Same thing on this leg. On the ball of the foot, open the ankle, bend the knee slightly, and then extend. When we extend, we're going to lock the knee. Unlike the other kicks I showed you prior, you want to have the knee locked and be on the ball of the foot. Bring the shin up at a 45-degree angle, and then turn it over. Up and over at 45 degrees. Not a roundhouse kick. Don't swing it out like a bat. Bring it up 45 and then turn it over. That's quicker and you'll have more power. Now, to practice the step-in kick, it's very important that you do what I did in the previous segment. You want to do it on your own without hitting a target. That'll help you develop your balance and coordination. You want to make sure that you stand on the ball of the foot, bend the knee slightly when you launch, then extend the knee, lock it, turn the shoulders, turn the hips. Work on all the elements without hitting a target. This will enable you to perfect your kick so that when you work with a partner and when you kick the bag, you'll be able to kick through the bag. Step in and launch yourself. Bend that knee slightly and then lock it. Turn the hip. Turn the shoulder. You need your whole body to come around and pivot on that planted foot so that all your power will come through. It's very important that you do this correctly. Now watch how I work out with my partner, my student Walter. My knees locked as I make impact. I'm on the ball of my foot. This is the way that you check to make sure you're in the right position at impact. You have your partner hold your other leg. See how the knee's locked? I'm on the ball of the foot. Got to turn the hip over. Now look at Walter. He should be on the ball of his foot, and the knee should be locked, and turn the hip more. The hand's by the face like it's supposed to be. He's dropping the other arm down. Again. It's hard to maintain that position in a static situation. It's easier when you're doing it dynamically. But by doing this, you're going to develop your balance and program your muscles to be in the right position. The next kick that I want to show you is a semi-knee kick. It's similar in some respects to the step-in kick in that you're going to step in and bring your body weight, your momentum, transferring your power in. But instead of extending the leg out, you're going to kick with either the shin or the knee. Which part of your leg that makes contact with the opponent will be determined by how far away they are. If they're a little farther or moving away from you, it's going to be the shin. If they're closer or moving in, you'll catch them with the knee. This is very good against someone who's got good hands because there's one other difference between this and the step-in kick, and that is you're going to bend slightly at the waist away from the opponent. Watch while I do it. I come around, but I don't extend the knee out. I keep it bent. It's very good against someone who's got good hands because you're able to attack them while moving your head and your torso away from them. The shin still comes up at a 45-degree angle. You still turn the hip over. And we're pivoting on that planted foot, locking that knee out. Locking the planted leg's knee. Keeping the opposite hand up for our guard, throwing the hand on the side that we're kicking back to get our momentum going. Bring the shin up at 45 degrees, turn it over. Like that. Once again, I want to show you how to do this with a partner. And to practice this kick with a partner, what we do is we hold the leg and look to see that we're at the right position at the point of impact. Now watch. My knee's bent and I'm hitting with the shin here. That's the knee. That's the knee. Watch from this angle. See how I bend him away from the waist? You can also vary how much you jump in or step in depending on how far away the opponent is. Walter's in good position here. That was a good one. He moved me back a little. This is an important variation on your basic round kick. If your opponent's expecting just a regular step-in kick, this will surprise them. And again, it's very good against someone who has good hand technique. You want to watch your opponent and figure out what kind of strategy you want to use based on his strengths. The next kick I want to show you is called the step back kick. Now this is a kick that you can use if the opponent's attacking and coming in at you. You move back and away from him at first, and then you're going to be able to kick at a 45-degree again. This is a good kick to use if your opponent has a lead that doesn't match with yours. You want to be able to kick his strong side. Be able to switch your lead and then kick him to his power side. Move back, switch, and kick. Come up at a 45-degree again and go to his strong side. If he's got a left lead, you kick him on the right. And the opposite applies also. If he comes in with strong hands, this is a good kick. But you have to be quick to do this because he's going to look to get you. You've got to get the basic footwork down before you can try it. Watch this part of the tape several times to really understand what I'm doing here. This is somewhat complicated, so I'm going to go over it again. If your opponent's strong side is opposite your lead, then that's when you want to use this kick. I'm now going to show you the step back kick with Walter. Part of the step back kick that I just showed you involves a switch kick also. These can be used singularly or in conjunction with one another. Now the target is once again the torso, ribs, body, or the arm that they're protecting. Now first I'll demonstrate it if I have a left lead. I step back, I switch, and I kick. My left lead against Walter's left lead. Now I'm going to switch. I have a right lead now. Walter still has a left lead. The footwork involved here is quite complicated. You've got to really work at it to become proficient. Now remember, like all the other kicks, when you kick, you've got to keep your hands up. Opposite side. I kick with the right, keep the left hand up. Kick with the left, keep the right hand up. Now part of this step back kick I've been doing involves a switch kick, which Walter will now demonstrate for you. This is just a straight switch kick without stepping back. Watch what he does, how he switches which leg he'll kick with. He's got a left lead, he switches back and kicks with that left leg. Moves it to the back position so he can use all his power. Again, this is some more complicated footwork. It's a more advanced kick. It takes time to develop it. Now, I'm keeping my hand up. See how I'm catching his kick with my hand? Right there. Got my guard up. Now, if I don't do that, he'll kick me in the neck and he can knock me out. So you've got to keep your hand up to protect against this kick. Now I want to talk about moving and kicking. When I say move, we're going to move out at a 45-degree angle. This differs from the stepping kick, where you step straight in. We're going to move out to the side. Don't step straight in on this kick. We're going to step out either to my left or to my right. I step out to the left at 45 degrees instead of stepping straight in. Not straight in, out to a 45-degree angle, or out to this side. Watch. I step out, 45 degrees. My opponent, if he's coming in, this is a great kick to use if he's coming and attacking me. Because now I'm out to the side. Same thing on this side. He's coming straight in. I'm avoiding him, and now I can kick him. It also works if he's not moving. If we're toe-to-toe, and I step out, now I've got an angle on him. He's right there. I can kick him. The kick is very similar to the others. Bring the leg up at a 45 degree and turn it over. He's got to make the adjustment in his defense because now I'm not where I was. I'm at his side. This is a great tactic to use in the ring if your opponent is attacking you. It's also very good for self-defense. You're toe-to-toe with somebody in the street, they're coming at you, you step out to the side and then kick. This has two advantages. One, if they're attacking you, they don't have the same target as before, and now you have a different angle of attack on them. So it hurts them and it helps you. It allows you to switch. can go to either side. Again, it's not a straight step-in kick. We go out to either side. It's similar in that we're moving forward, bring our momentum forward, but instead of straight in, I go to the side of the target. Now once again, I want to show you this with one of my students. I think everything's clear when we do this. Now I'm going to transfer my power from my back leg, move myself to the left, and I'll be able to kick Walter. Or I go out to the other side, same thing. Then I kick with my left leg instead of the right leg. I move to the right, I kick with the left. Move to the left, I kick with the right. You're moving out at a 45-degree angle, approximately. You're going to make minor adjustments depending on how you start, the initial starting point. I can do a regular roundhouse kick here, or I can do a semi-knee kick. Both can be initiated from the move and kick maneuver. Walter's doing the same thing here. Stepping out to the right, kicking with the left. And this also works. If you notice, I'm stepping back a little bit, so this allows Walter to bridge the distance. Instead of coming straight in at me, he's coming in at an angle. Now this is a more sophisticated and more advanced technique than just stepping straight in. First you want to learn how to step straight in and kick, then work on coming at an angle. Again, out at a 45-degree angle to either side. Don't be predictable. Step in, transfer your power, use your momentum to get your body in. The next kick that I want to show you is called the neck kick. This is a high kick directed at the neck. This is our third target area. As we said before, we had the legs, the body, and kicking above the neck. Now there are a lot of nerves and a lot of arteries in the neck, so if you're able to execute this kick, you'll do a lot of damage to your opponent. You want to use the ankle to make contact with the neck. But be careful when executing this kick, because you're kicking so high, you leave yourself exposed to a counter from your opponent. You want to be quick when you do this. Don't be slow. And look for the right time and the right opening to attempt it. Now sometimes when you do this kick, you're not going to make contact with the neck. You'll hit your opponent in his guard, in his gloves. And when that happens, we call that the guard kick. That's good also, though. It'll throw him off. Right in the neck. That's the best. And if he's coming in, you catch him as he comes in, you're going to knock him out for sure. Now I'm showing you this kick last because it's a very hard kick to develop. It'll take some time. Now if you're working out by yourself, this is a particularly hard kick to develop. It's very hard to keep your balance as you spin all the way around when you shadow box this kick. If you have a bag, that makes it a little easier. But it's really best to work on this kick with somebody else, with a partner. Now if you're in a fight in the ring, the best time to use this kick is right after the ref says box. Do it right away if you can. That's your best chance. Now watch how I work on it with Walter. That would be a guard kick. I came right by him. Takes a lot of flexibility to execute this kick properly. So the guard kick is our first kick to the neck area. Again, a good time to use it is at right at the beginning of a fight. Break your opponent's rhythm and concentration. Now the next kick that I want to talk to the neck area is called the ankle cross. To perform this kick, what you're going to do is bend your knee a little and come in. Get your momentum going forward like this. Gives you more power. The footwork here is similar to the step-in kick. You're going to step in, bridge the distance, move closer to your opponent. But now the target is the neck area. How high you kick will depend on how flexible you are. You might kick your opponent's shoulder if he's much taller than you. You've got to make the adjustment. Now I have another kick to show you that's directed to the neck. This is the moving kick. It's like the one we did before to the body. You move out in an angle. But this time it's to the neck. We're going to move out at the ball of our foot, bend the knee, and spring up. Elevate. It's very similar to the moving kick to the body before. Crouch down and spring yourself up. You can do it to the left or to the right. So now you've seen the different kicks we have to the neck. The guard kick is where you just stand and kick. The ankle cross or the moving kick is when you're moving and then kicking. So these are just some of the neck kicks that we have in Muay Thai. Once again, I'm going to work with two of my students. I have a less experienced student, Nick, and I have a more experienced student, Walter. Now watch how I work with them and correct them. You can do this whether you're teaching someone or you're just working out with someone as a partner. Nick's off to a good start, but I want him to turn his hip more. Turn it over. He needs to pivot more on that front foot in order to be able to do that. To get that pivot going, turn the shoulders. And he needs to come off the back foot. Now I'm turning his shoulders for him so he gets that feeling. If you don't turn your hip, you're not going to have any power. You've got to keep the other hand up while he kicks. And if you throw the hand back, that helps you get the momentum going. That's better. Now we're going to watch Walter kick. I want you to watch this closely and see if you can pick up the difference between a newer student and a more experienced student. I've worked with Walter for about 4 years. He's had a couple fights in the ring. You should be able to see the difference. He's quicker, he'll have more power. Watch. He pivots a lot more on that front foot, on the planted foot. Watch how he turns his foot. He brings the leg straight up. Keeps his right hand up, the power comes from the back leg. Puts the back hand down and turns the shoulders so the rest of the body follows. Just like punching, your power comes from your legs. Strong kick. I'm now going to show you a more advanced way to work with the kick pads. I'm not going to hold them together, but rather I'm going to work in a more dynamic way so that Walter can't stand still. He's got to move. This will help him work on his movement and kicking at the same time. Now I'm working with Walter more in a sparring sense. I don't have the pads together the whole time. I bring them together as I see his leg come up. and I push him off me with my free hand so that he has to come in and kick me. He can't stay still. And I throw a kick at him once in a while so he doesn't get lazy and sloppy. You've got to keep moving so they keep moving. Don't go in the same direction. Go clockwise for a while, then go counterclockwise. Move them back, let them come in. Keep them moving all the time. See if they flinch. Try to fake them. Now Walter's kicking whenever he wants to here. This is good training for the kicker. It's also good training for the pad holder. He's got to see the leg coming up and move the pads together in time to catch the kick. It's important that you watch him closely and you give him feedback. You can also learn how to make your kick better by watching them closely. See what they're doing right, see what they're not doing right. Try to learn. Pay attention. Just don't hold the pads. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to kick the pads with more power. Make sure when you're kicking, you keep the opposite side hand up. I'm going to kick with my right leg. I'm going to keep my left hand up. Keep my guard up at all times. To block any kick from my opponent in case he tries to kick me while I kick him. Now I want to pivot on my plant foot. Make sure the kicking side stays loose. And launch yourself off that back foot. Launch and twist. Pivot the front foot. This allows your hips to come through. Allows all your power to come through. Launch yourself off that back foot. Bring your power forward. You want all your momentum to bring you forward. Watch how I do it. Bring the power straight forward. I pivot off that front foot. Turn the hip over. Turn the whole body. The shoulders turn. Everything turns. Now from the other side. It'll take some time before you are able to kick from both sides like this. Just work with it. It also takes time to be quick. You've got to launch yourself off the back foot and twist on that front foot. Pivot on it. But get all your momentum turning so you can be quick and powerful. It's not an easy kick to learn. It takes some time. Study this section of the tape closely. Just pivoting on the front foot's not enough. You've got to really launch yourself off that back foot in order to turn yourself with force and power. Now it's time to show you some knee techniques. We use the knee when we're in closer range than we would where we kick. It's similar to the distinction between punching and elbows. It's a closer range weapon, and like elbows, it's a very powerful weapon. You use the top of the knee sometimes, so we're going to start with, is using the top of it and bringing it straight up. Now, like the elbow techniques, knee techniques are very good in self-defense situations. Someone comes in close to you, you feel threatened, you want to protect yourself. A knee technique is a very good weapon to have. Now, the first technique I want to show you is a straight knee. First, assume the on-guard position. Going to do it with the back leg. Bring it forward and out. Bring the hips forward. Toes point down, not up. Toes point straight down. Protect the toes, make the legs stronger. You don't want to jam your toes or break your toes. Straight forward. Bring the hips through and bend back from the waist. Now if you want to knee with the other leg, you just switch and come through. You always want to knee with the leg that's in the back. Sometimes you'll have to switch. Bring the hips forward and through on either side. Drop the arm in the side that you're kneeing. Keep the chin down. Keep it in tight. And bring the other arm across the chest to protect against your opponent countering. and elevate on the planted foot. Get on the ball of that foot, get your momentum and your weight going forward. Bring it through. Now when doing the straight knee, you want to bring the leg straight up and out. Try to make it long. Bridge the distance. To do this, you're going to bring your hips forward and push out. Your target area is the stomach. Right out. Now we'll cover more of the application in tape 4. Right now you need to develop the technique. Straight out. It's important that you learn how to come out with it. Don't keep your knee close to your body. You want to be able to strike far away from your body. Bring the leg right back and reload. Straight out. That'll have the most power. Lean back. Adds to the power. Drive the hips through. Drive the hips through. Straight knee is your most basic knee. It's the first one you need to learn. Now I'm going to work on it with Walter. See how I make my knee move away from my body? I drive my hips through. Walter does the same. Bring the hips through. That's where your power is going to come from. He's got his toes pointed down. He switched leads there, came with the back knee. It's important to drive straight through with it. Be strong. Good. That was a good one. You want to lean the body away so your opponent can't punch you when you knee him. Lean your head out of his reach if you can. It's the best way to practice the knees with a partner. I have two more knees I want to show you now. The diagonal knee and the curved knee. Diagonal goes across, curve goes out. Your target is the side of the stomach, below the ribs. The straight knee goes right to the middle of the stomach. These go on the outside. The diagonal knee is done across your body at your opponent. From either leg. Straight across. And the curve goes out and around. Like this. Now both of these knee techniques are used in the clinching. Depends on your opponent's defense and what opening you see. Sometimes you can go inside with diagonal, or you go outside with the curved knee. I think the distinction will be clearer when I show you with my partner. Diagonal comes inside. And the curved knee comes out and around. Out and around. When I say diagonal, I'm going diagonally across his body. When I curve out and around. It's very tender right here. It's a good place to knee. It's the area you want to aim for. Curving out and around. Out and around. Now when you see this used in a clinch, you'll understand why you need both techniques. Depending on what your opponent does with his knees to block you, you'll use one or the other. We'll get to that in tape 4. For now, just work on these techniques. Alright, I have one more knee technique to show you on this tape. The cross knee. This one's aimed for the thigh. Come in from different angles. It targets the thigh. You want to be able to use both of your knees in the cross knee technique and attack your opponent's thighs. The cross knee is a very effective tool. Similar to kicking in the thigh, if you bruise the thigh enough, you'll immobilize your opponent, and you won't be able to move, and he'll be a sitting duck just waiting for you. So we have the straight knee, diagonal knee, the curved knee, and the cross knee. And these are the knee techniques I wanted to cover in this tape. We'll show applications in tape 4.